Hey there. If you're a test administrator, you totally know that feeling, right? That little knot in your stomach just before a big test day. You've put in the work, but you're always wondering, is everything actually going to run smoothly? Well, today, we're going to swap that anxiety for some serious confidence. We're going through the definitive checklist to get your test center ready.
So let's just ask it straight up. Is your test center truly ready? See, this isn't about just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's about having a rock-solid process that guarantees you've covered every single base, from how the rooms are laid out to how tough your network is. By the time we're done here, you're going to have a clear, actionable plan.
So here's our game plan for today. First up, we're going to build the foundation by getting the room arranged just right. Then we'll dive into prepping every single computer. After that, we tackle the big one, making sure your network can handle the load. And finally, we'll cover the last-minute checks that'll give you total peace of mind. Let's do it.
Okay, let's kick things off with the room itself. You know, before a single test taker even logs in, the physical space, that sets the stage for everything that follows. Getting this part right is your first and honestly one of your most important steps to make sure the test is secure.
You know, the goal here is really twofold. Of course, you want to set things up so test takers can't easily peek at each other's screens. That's a given. But it's also about making sure the monitor, keyboard, and mouse are positioned so everyone's comfortable and can do their best work. It's all about creating an environment that's both fair and focused.
All right, let's talk about this number right here, 1.5 meters. This is a big one. If you don't have partitions between your computers, this distance is absolutely non-negotiable. And we're talking measured from the center of one screen to the center of the next. It is the easiest, most effective way to keep eyes from wandering and protect the test integrity.
And it's not just about spacing. You've got to have total control over where people sit. That means always using a prearranged random seating chart. No letting test takers pick their own spots, and definitely no switching seats once they're assigned. This stops friends from teaming up and keeps things fair. Oh, and critically, make sure your staff can walk freely and has a clear line of sight to every single person in the room.
All right, so the room is set. Let's shift gears from the physical to the digital. Now we're zooming in on the machines themselves. Look, every single computer is a potential hiccup, right? But if you follow a clear process, we can turn each one into a totally reliable tool for test day.
For every machine, and I mean every single one, it all boils down to these 3 simple steps. And trust me, the order here is everything. First, you set the language. Second, you run the system check. And third, you download the secure browser. Let's talk about why that first step is such a huge deal.
So get this. You could have a brand new, top-of-the-line computer that's perfect in every way. But if its system language isn't set to English, it will flat out fail the system check. It's such a simple little step, but it can save you hours of headaches and troubleshooting. So please, do it first.
And this right here, the check readiness screen, this is going to be your best friend. It's basically your command center. You can see that Run System Check button right there on the left. You click that, and this tool just automatically checks everything, from the operating system to your internet speed, and gives you a clear pass or fail. So simple.
All right, now for what might be the most crucial technical step, especially if you're running a larger test center. I mean, prepping one computer is one thing, but what about 20 or 50 or 100 students all hitting your network at the exact same time? The key is to find out if it can handle the pressure before test day, not during.
So, how do we do that? With this amazing tool called the test simulation. Think of it like a fire drill for your network. It basically fakes a real testing session by having all your computers trying to pull data at the same time. This lets you find your network's breaking point, so you can make sure you stay safely below it.
The way it works is super straightforward. It uses a host and client system. You just pick one computer to be the host, that's your controller. Then all the other machines you're going to use for testing become the clients. As long as they're all on the same network, they can join the simulation that the host kicks off.
And running it is a piece of cake. First, on your host computer, you start a new simulation. That'll give you a number. Then you go to all your client computers, and they just join the simulation using that number. Once everyone's in, you go back to the host, click Start, and let it run. In the end, it spits out the magic number, the maximum number of students your network can safely handle.
Okay, but listen up, because this is a huge pro tip. The number the simulation gives you, it's an estimate. Real-world networks can be unpredictable, so the absolute smartest thing you can do is play it safe. If the test says you can handle 50 students, maybe just schedule 45. That little bit of buffer, that's your best friend on test day.
So you've set up the room, you've prepped all the computers, and you've stress-tested your network.
I mean, you are in fantastic shape. But for anyone who wants that extra layer of certainty, there are a couple of advanced tools you can use for some final verification.
So if we head back to that main check readiness screen, you'll find these advanced tools. There are two final checks here that are really useful, the test delivery check and the bandwidth check. Let's quickly break down what each one does for you.
The test delivery check is super simple. It's just a quick pass or fail run-through on one machine to confirm that, yep, a test can in fact be delivered. The bandwidth check is a little more advanced. You can let it run for a few hours, and ideally, you'd run it around the same time of day as your actual test to see if your internet speed randomly drops or gets unstable. It's great for spotting hidden issues.
So, let's just recap the whole game plan, the 4 pillars of being ready. First, physical integrity. Lock down the room and the seating. Second, the digital foundation. Prep every single computer, no exceptions. Third, network resilience. Run that simulation to prove you can handle the traffic. And fourth, final verification. Use those advanced tools to be absolutely sure. That's it. That's your formula for a smooth test day.
And that really brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. The checklist is done, the tech is good to go, the center is ready. But readiness goes beyond the hardware and the network. What about your team? Is your staff trained on all the procedures? Do they know what to do if there's a problem? The technology is only half the battle. Now it's about making sure the people are ready too.